last couple days we've had these high wave warnings in effect, and but we've had some cloudy conditions, some rainy conditions, so I don't think it's been the most appealing day to go outside and really enjoy the beaches or try and go for a swim. But today, with the sunshine coming up, and even though it's cooler, it'll be warmer this afternoon, just want to really reiterate the dangers of Lake Michigan right now. I know a lot of people, it's tempting to jump in. The water temperature is really high, but as you take a look at these waves are nothing to be messing with here today. We're along the lakefront trail just a little bit south of North Avenue. You can see these big swells of waves. We're looking at waves between 5 and 8 feet consistently throughout the day, but some of these waves may even get up to 10 feet, and hidden underneath the water are the dangerous rip currents we often hear about. That's literally where currents are able to drag people out, straight out into the lake without really even any notice. It's caused by the different motion of the water being whipped up around the shore and then whipping up back into the Lake Michigan. So you can see these giant swells of water coming over the breakers here. If you're at any of the beaches, of course, it might look calm where you are. I mean, obviously they're big rolling waves, but from the beaches themselves, it may seem like, oh, I can jump in the water, it shouldn't be any problem. Whether it's the waves or the rip currents, it's a very dangerous situation. I know a lot of kids aren't quite back in school yet. You might be thinking, what can I do today? Do not take the kids out for a swim today. It is particularly dangerous. If what I'm saying doesn't scare you, what the National Weather Service should scare you, or certainly frighten you from going into the water today. They consider these things life-threatening conditions. You're going to see the red flags at the beaches today, but again, the National Weather Service reiterating that this is a life-threatening situation. It's not only here in Chicago along all the beaches, but also into Northwest Michigan. So again, you come out here, fine, go to the beach. You can take a look at our gorgeous sunrise we have here. It's a very pretty day, but it is not a day to get in the water with these dangerous beach conditions. Certainly, we cannot emphasize that enough. You guys are part of an organization of open swimmers, right? Talk a little bit about that organization.
Open Water Chicago is a group of people that started as a meetup group and has expanded. And we're generally here on weekends. And so from here, North Avenue, the Chess Pavilion, down to the beach and back is a mile. And it's a great place for open water swimmers to get started, because if at any time you can't make the beach, you just get out on one of the ladders and walk back. We're old enough, we don't care. It's like, all right, do what you can. And
you're wearing the life preservers just to float around for a little bit, or what?
Well, we got down here today and the waves were still rough. And so it's like, all right, well, we made the trip. We all got to go back to work, try to run back. But we wanted to make sure that we could get in a little bit. And when the swells are this big, it's not a fun swim.
No.
Well, it's not that you're going to drown or anything. You just get a little seasick because up and down and up and down and up and down.
But you know, people might look at you, Mary Ellen. I don't know what your reaction to this is, but I looked at you and go, what are those crazy people doing? What do you say to that?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. It's my happy place. It's the best part of Chicago. And anybody that doesn't get down here this summer is really missing a great opportunity.
All right, so I have got to at least advise what the National Weather Service says. So I'm not trying to be judgy, but seriously, I looked at you guys and I thought it was crazy. The good news is you are wearing your life preservers, of course, and you're safe, and you were close to the edge, of course. And you guys are obviously swimmers, correct? Experienced swimmers.
Yes.
Okay. Red flags are out at Oak Street Beach. No swimming is advised, of course, along any of the beaches. Rip currents are possible, of course, that if you're underwater, they can tow you out even further out to Lake Michigan. But again, you guys hear all those warnings and you say?
Well, we're following all the rules. We're never swimming alone. We're keeping close to the shore. And we're not the average person that knows how to swim. We're people that are regularly swimming a mile and a half in open water. So we have that little bit of experience. We're not going to panic. And given that, we came down and went, maybe not.
So you would say for someone that isn't experienced swimming, that definitely stay out of the lake today.
Absolutely.
We're still continuing to see high waves across the area, and this is not only for Chicago beaches, north and south side, but also wrapping around into Indiana and some parts of Southwest Michigan as well. Really, mainly the Indiana State Dunes Park as well. Be sure just not to go in the water. It may just look like rolling waves. You might say, I can go knee high. You certainly cannot with the riptides. They could pull you out. All right. So as we look back here along Lake Michigan, and we look out, we don't see a cloud in the sky. Really a gorgeous day. It was quite a different story if you looked out at Lake Michigan on Monday and Tuesday, where we actually saw some water spouts. Photos coming to us for the International Water Spout Research Center. And it's interesting what water spouts really are. A lot of people think that they're caused by the same conditions that tornadoes are caused by, but they're actually not. They can be just formed in innocuous clouds. It's a different dynamic that forms a water spout. They can be weak. They're usually associated with 60-mile-an-hour winds, and they're not formed after a big storm cloud is formed, but often in a moisture-laden environment where the cloud is just forming. The water spout forms from there. So it's interesting to look at. It doesn't mean that there's tornadoes in the area, just means that the conditions were right for a water spout to form. We see them often in Lake Michigan on days like yesterday and the day before. It doesn't look like anything like that today, but it is certainly a dangerous day to be in the water.